It sucks. It sucks because you want to stop, but you can't. You want to stop, but you really don't want to. You want to love yourself, but you hate yourself. You're just like losing your mind, but you're not losing your mind because my mind works like this as well. Hi, my favorite, most wonderful people. How are you? My name is Kelly Yu, and I love talking about eating disorder recovery, body image, self-love, and now throughout the last 2 years of my life, which I haven't been on YouTube, I've learned so much more about self-worth, self-esteem, recovering from toxic relationships, building a healthier, stronger, real relationship with yourself, and I can't wait to connect with you on all of it. You all know that I have this series on Instagram called Therapy Thursday, where every single Thursday I learn lessons from my own therapy sessions and I share them with all of you.
Today we are going to talk about the one topic that is the most dear and close to my heart, binge eating. And we're going to answer the question, I just binged, what do I do?
If you're struggling day to day with binge eating, give yourself credit. Seriously, just give yourself credit, because I want you to know the second thing is there's a reason. There's a reason why you're binge eating. It's not just because you lack self-control. It's not just because you love food. It's not just because you're addicted to food. It's not just that there's something wrong with you. There's a deeper reason, and we want to find comfort in wanting to learn more about the deeper emotional needs and reasons that we do this. The third thing is there is hope, and we're going to talk about some steps for self-care and recovery tips to help you from having this really painful, self-destructive behavior that you really don't want anymore, but you can't let go of. Okay, so those are the three things we're going to do today.
Hi. Sorry, I just had therapy and I'm editing this now, and I cannot believe that I did not mention how you can also access this support, and just reminding you that you are deserving of therapy and a therapist and safety and support and validation during this time. You know, I can't see my therapist in real life, so my weekly video sessions with her save me and just truly help me feel very, very supported and validated during this time. And I just wanted to make sure that I provided you this resource. There's a link in the description box for 10% off therapy. BetterHelp is this incredible website that actually connects you with a therapist in your area. So obviously at this time we don't see them in real life, but that website allows you to connect, and you can chat them, you can call them, you can do video chats just like me and my therapist do. You can really choose how you want it, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I just want to make sure that you know that this is available to you. And knowing that the therapy that I do every single week is the reason I can make these videos and even know any of these things or can heal through so much of this stuff. I continue to do therapy every single week and have for 6 years. I'm really sorry that I forgot to say it in the video, but it's there now, and the link is in the description below. 10% off BetterHelp therapy. You deserve it. Okay, let's move on.
When I say you're not alone, you really are not alone at all. But I want to 100% be here to validate how lonely you feel, how ashamed you feel, how scared and upset and frustrated and confused and honestly hopeless you might feel at this time, because that's real. It is so painful emotionally, mentally, and physically to struggle with any type of eating disorder, specifically binge eating disorder. So if you struggle with this, I'm guessing you're really struggling with the fact that you can't stop it. We need to understand and give ourselves a lot of credit for the fact that these coping mechanisms and these behaviors are extremely addictive. If we wanted to stop and we could, then we would. If you're doing it constantly and you can't stop, that was me. Seriously. I binged every single day, honestly, of my life until I was about 22 years old. I started kind of recovering when I was 20. We do something to numb ourselves. We push down our feelings. We can't deal with whatever emotions are at hand that we don't want to face. And a lot of times these emotional struggles are things we don't actually have in the present moment. There's not something going wrong right now, but it could be like deep family stuff or deep insecurities that we haven't seen before, or your subconscious, all these different things. It's intimidating, I know, but like once you start giving yourself credit for the fact that, oh, that's why you're doing it, it's like, huh, okay, well, thank you. You know, I'm not like the worst person ever. And you didn't do something bad. You are not bad. You need to realize that you're hurting or struggling, or you need it for some reason, and it's become something that helps you survive. If you really take a step back and think about the binge eating, and when you do it more or when you do it less, a lot of times you can see these patterns of, oh, I feel like now I do see that I needed it to survive. I was really stressed during exams and I was procrastinating and I just ate all this food because now I see I was really stressed out. There are a lot of deeper reasons. So self-care is very, very important when you have a binge eating episode. Right after it, it's very easy to want to just numb out, check out, because I would always just fall asleep. Now, if I find myself starting to become numb and tune out and really use food, I go, okay, this is happening. Kelly, I'm with you. And it sounds really corny, but it's really not. It's very real, because in that moment, you start dissociating from your own self. When you're shoveling food, you just aren't with yourself anymore. So you need to reconnect and go, hey, I'm here with you, and I don't want to dissociate from you, because I am you and I want to be here for you and I want to love you through this, because clearly you're struggling, clearly you're feeling something, and I know you don't know how to deal with it except for without food, so I'm here. You don't have to do anything else. I'm not telling you that you have to stop shoveling food. I'm not telling you that you have to do really anything. I want you to just be there for yourself, because the loneliest moments are in that binge and post-binge. So much shame. You don't need to deal with that alone. You need to be there with yourself. It is so crucial that we eventually allow ourselves to feel comfortable and safe enough and brave enough to try to see the roots of this struggle. Are we going through a breakup where you really feel so just broken and food does provide a warm blanket type of feeling? Are we in an abusive relationship where food feels like our only comfort? Do we have a vacancy or loneliness where we don't feel like we have love and acceptance and we're needing food to kind of save and hold that place for us? And then maybe you just do it when you're like stressed out about an exam. I know for me, it really feels like a warm hug, and that's pretty hard to let go of. My brain has decided that an overstuffed belly and numbing with food somehow suffices as love and a cure for loneliness, but not anymore, because now I know it really, really doesn't. Regardless, you deserve to open up to yourself, because that's really what is happening inside of you, and I want you to not be afraid of your own self. I know that there are things we don't like about ourselves, and I know that these are behaviors that we feel ashamed of and wish we could just stop and change, but you don't need to view it as this project that's like distant from you. You really need and deserve to hold your own hand through this process, hug yourself through this process, and cheer your own self on the whole time. And I know it's so hard, and it's taken me probably, I think, like 6 years to really get to this point where I want to hold my own hand. And these types of things were so like corny and honestly gross when I'd hear about it in therapy, but it's just so true. Like you can't even fight it at some point. You're just like, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, fine. Yeah, I really can't hate myself, because it's not working. Self-hate is not working. It's not getting me anywhere. I know this video is quite heavy, so I want to give you a couple tips, actual things you can do that will help you in that present moment post-binge. Here's an act of action that I would like you to allow yourself to do if you can. It can even be the morning after the binge, because I feel like right after the binge, it's really hard if you're in the depths of that darkness to do this. Maybe when you wake up and go, I'm sorry you went through that. That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say. You don't have to go into this narrative of like, oh, I love you, self, I'm so sorry. Just say, I'm sorry you went through that. Because that is at least acknowledging what happened. For me, I would just like hate myself the next whole day and never address the fact that I binged, because I would just like try to forget about it, even though I would binge, then restrict all day, and then do it again. It was night after night after night, day starve, night binge. I just had so much shame that I was stuffing down, and it's not a life that any of us deserve to live. No, I want to hold my own hand. I want to be there with myself, and I want to recover, because you are worth that. You want a fulfilling life, this normal life that you keep referring to. This is normal in terms of struggling with something, but we're going to learn how to deal with our feelings and struggles in a much more self-caring way. You need that. Now, this second thing is obviously much more challenging, and anyone's eating disorder will probably go, nope, turn that off. I'm not listening to her. This is something I still force myself to do in a self-loving way every single day. You gotta eat the next day. Whether it's lunch, but I really, really want you to allow yourself to eat something earlier in the day, like breakfast. I mean, if you don't binge at night, then this is obviously different. Like if you binge during the day and then you refuse to eat later, we can't keep doing that, because this cycle of eating a bunch, then restricting is really just, once again, this cyclical nature and addictive behaviors, black and white thinking. We can't do that anymore because it's not working. If we don't change this, if we don't allow ourselves to eat the next day, like a breakfast or a lunch after a night binge, what do you think's gonna happen? It's like clockwork, automatic. You know you're gonna binge at night. That's the hard part about it. It's really hard to let go of the predictability of that. You know you get to have your nightly binge. It's not fun though. And it's really hard to let go of that though. That's a process that I became very, very, not even comfortable, comforted by. So when my therapists, dietitians, and whoever wanted to take that away from me, I said, no, I would rather not eat all day and just eat a ton at night. But I'm sure you all know this too. You're probably having like digestive issues, mood struggles, low energy, super high energy, you can't sleep, or you're sleeping too much. It's really hard to accept that we know that this is not a lifestyle that will ever be sustainable. This is not making us happy, but like we still can't change it. I really feel you and understand you, and it sucks. It sucks because you want to stop, but you can't. You want to stop, but you really don't want to. You hate yourself, but you kind of love this process. You want to love yourself, but you hate yourself. It's this constant black and white, left and right, opposing faces. You're just like losing your mind, but we're here together, and I want you to know that you're not losing your mind, because my mind works like this as well. I'm here with you. I'm holding your hand. I'm giving you a hug. I know how hard it is. I struggle daily with so many different things, but we're not struggling. We're honestly just surviving, and we're thriving. I will see you next Therapy Thursday. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm back. I'm back. We're back. See you soon.